Have you ever thought you're too old? Like anything that God has asked you to do, you're just too old? Well, I have some encouragement for you today, and it's not actually just from me, it's from the Lord that He's giving to Joshua. As we get into Joshua chapter 13 today, the Lord starts off by saying, Hey, I know you're getting old, but there's more to do. I have more assignments for you. I have more promise, more purpose. And there's just some encouragement that I think we might need for ourselves too. So come on in and join me. Hey y'all, I'm Kaela. Welcome back to His Word, My Walk as we continue on in the book of Joshua. Look, I'm here to bring you faith-based content. And as we continue reading through the Bible chapter by chapter, my hope and my prayer is that you are growing with God in your own time with Him, in your own time with Him in His Word, in your own time with Him out on a walk, in your own time. So I love that you're here. I absolutely love it. And I still want to challenge you to read the chapter before we get here. You see the pattern. You know how we're going. So read the next chapter ahead and see what you can glean. See what questions you have, what you can go and research, and let this be like the fun get together with your friends from around the world to read it again and kind of discuss it a little bit. All right, let's continue on. Now, we just read through. In all, 31 kings were defeated. Did you go back and examine? Did you get out your journal and did you make a list of like all the victories that you've had with the Lord in your life? Truly, these walk it out challenges are purposeful to gather this evidence, to collect the evidence in your journal, to have these moments. And we're going to get back to our journals in this one too. But let's go. Chapter 13. When Joshua was an old man, the Lord said to him. So, old man, how old is Joshua? Now, as we keep reading, we kind of get an age of when he dies. So, how old is Joshua at this point? When Joshua was an old man, the Lord said to him, You're growing old. Thanks, God, right? You're growing old, and much land remains to be conquered. This is the territory that remains, all the regions of the Philistines and the Geshurites, and the larger territory of the Canaanites, extending from the stream of Shihor on the border of Egypt northward to the boundary of Ekron. It includes the territory of the 5 Philistine rulers of Gaza, Ashdod, Ashkelon, Gath, and Ekron. The land of the Avites in the south also remains to be conquered. In the north, the following area has not yet been conquered, all the land of the Canaanites, including Mira, which belongs to the Sidonians, stretching northward to Aphek on the border of the Amorites, the land of the Gebalites, and all the Lebanon mountain area to the east, from Baal-Gad below Mount Hermon to Lebo Hamath, and all the hill country from Lebanon to Misrephoth, Maim, including all the land of the Sidonians. Okay, I was trying to find a place to stop in there as we were reading, but I kept thinking in my mind as I was reading it out loud this time, this is the Lord speaking. Like, do I have, first of all, I'll come back to the age thing, but do I ever think the Lord doesn't know the details of my life? Do I ever think the Lord doesn't know the college that I'm going to, the street that I live on, the distance between countries or homes or my job or family members or relationships? Do I really think the Lord doesn't know the places and the locations here on earth? Like I had never really thought about that until right now, as I couldn't stop reading, listing all these places that the Lord is telling Joshua, these places are yet to conquer. But look at the detail that the Lord knows the area. And He knows who's in charge, or like in charge, you know what I'm saying, of each area, of each territory. He knows all the details. We talked about God being specific when it came to building the tabernacle in the book of Exodus. But reading these verses right here just has my mind in a fresh way, understanding like God knows the earth. God knows where the borders are. God knows where the cities are. God knows where I should be and where I shouldn't be. God knows which areas of the city are safe and which are not, which areas have this kind of culture and this kind of culture, which, God knows. And now let's go back to verse 1 and not just examine ourselves, but like get this boost of encouragement. When Joshua was an old man, the Lord said to him, "You are growing old, and much," he didn't really say it like that, right? "You are growing old, and much land remains to be conquered." You are growing old, yes, and much land remains to be conquered. You know how we often say both can be true? And sometimes we come at faith, or we even come at truth or feelings or what we would call facts with this: you're old, period. A lot of land remains to be covered, but not in the same sentence, not in the same thing. Yes, you're old. Yes, I'm old, older than I used to be, right? You may be in your 90s. So was Joshua. And the Lord still said, "You're growing old, and much land remains to be conquered." There's still more. There's still more to do. The mission's not complete. Okay, can we get that encouragement to keep going, to always seek for more, to not think the Lord is done? When he's done, he'll take us home. There's much more. There's more territory. There's more territory. There's more people to be saved. There's more to be done. Let's go down to verse 6 in the middle, that new paragraph there. "I myself," this is the Lord speaking, "I myself will drive these people out of the land ahead of the Israelites. So be sure to give this land to Israel as a special possession, just as I have commanded you." I love that the Lord says that. First of all, "I myself will drive these people out of the land ahead of the Israelites." That shows God's strength and God's power and reaffirming what God said before. But I wonder if it also might be a little Joshua being like, "Got it, Lord, but like, I'm old. Like, I'm not trying to walk around like I did Jericho anymore." And then the Lord comes back and says, "I myself will drive these people out." Like, I got it. I'm just letting you know the assignment's not finished, but I'm here with you. I'll handle it too. I'm going to go before you. I'm going to go with you. Okay? "I myself will drive these people out of the land ahead of the Israelites. Be sure to give this land to Israel as a special possession, just as I've commanded you." Joshua, be sure to give this land to Israel as a special possession, just as I've commanded you. Include all this territory as Israel's possession when you divide this land among the 9 tribes and the half tribe of Manasseh. Why only 9? Why only 9? I thought there were 12 tribes. Among the 9 tribes and the half tribe of Manasseh. Are you remembering tribes that already had their allotments on the other side of the Jordan River? Okay, because we can read the Bible and we'll be like, the math is not mathing. It is if we read in context and if we remember a couple chapters back, or even Joshua 1 probably, where Reuben and Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh, or now half the tribe, they already had their land. And they sent their warriors to go and fight, right? Let's go, verse 8. "Half the tribe of Manasseh and the tribes of Reuben and Gad had already received their grants of land on the east side of the Jordan, for Moses, the servant of the Lord, had previously assigned this land to them." This is why I always say to you, keep reading. Keep reading. Have the questions, be curious, and keep reading. We could have stopped right there, and maybe you would stop right there and start doing some research. What do you mean it's 9? The Bible must be wrong, right? This contradicts this. There should be 12 tribes. There should be 12 tribes, but read the very next sentence, the very next verse. Sometimes it's the very next chapter. Sometimes it's the next book, but we get most of the answers that we need. Half the tribe of Manasseh. That's also cool to even think of our minds, because Manasseh is already a half tribe, right? There are 12 tribes, but Joshua, son of Israel, his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. Are you picturing the family tree we made at the start of Exodus or even in Genesis, right? Manasseh and Ephraim each are half of a tribe, but then this is half the tribe of Manasseh, so this is like half of a half, right? Are you with me? So they already have theirs. Their territory extended from Aroer on the edge of the Arnon Gorge, including the town in the middle of the gorge, to the plain beyond Medeba, as far as Dibon. It also included all the towns of King Sihon of the Amorites, who had reigned in Heshbon and extended as far as the borders of Ammon. Do you have a map? Do you need a map? I obviously am encouraging you. You can look online to find a map of this. Look up like Book of Joshua, land divided for the tribes, something like that. I've included one actually inside your workbook to help you over here, to help you see where land is divided. And you can see kind of 2.5 are on the east of the Jordan River, okay? So getting that understanding of where are they, all these places. Let's not just read through and be like, well, I don't have a clue where those are. Oh, shoot. We're going to examine ourselves a lot in these upcoming chapters, but even just saying that and reading all of these places and not wanting to grab a map, not wanting to look deeper, again, has me examine myself of like, are there words of God's word that I think aren't important, that I think are boring, that I think are too tedious for me to want to research, that I just read through so that I check the box and read it through? Not, let me try to understand. Let me look at a map that at least helps me with where these places are, even in reference to the Jordan River, even in reference to Egypt. All right? Verse 11, it included Gilead, the territory of the kingdoms of Geshur and Maacah, all of Mount Hermon, all of Bashan, as far as Salekah, and all the territory of King Og of Bashan, who had reigned in Ashtaroth and Edrei. King Og was the last of the Rephaites, for Moses had attacked them and driven them out. Do we know when that happened? Now, it may be if you've been reading concurrently with me here on His Word, My Walk, you may have to go back to the book of Numbers. Some of these books that we didn't go through, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. You may have to go back to some of the battles that Moses fought through those to see this land, okay? Verse 13, but the Israelites failed to drive out the people of Geshur and Maacah. So they continue to live among the Israelites to this day. How did they fail to drive them out? Was it on their part? Were they just lazy about it? Did they choose not to? Were they being defeated? The Israelites failed to drive out the people of Geshur of Maacah. So they continue living among the Israelites to this day. Is that an issue? Moses did not assign any allotment of land to the tribe of Levi. Instead, as the Lord had promised them, do you remember? Do you remember about the tribe of Levi, the priests? Instead, as the Lord had promised them, their allotment came from the offerings burned on the altar to the Lord, the God of Israel. So anyone from the tribe of Levi didn't get any land. There was no land given to them. There were cities, but there was no land given to them. It all came from the offerings to the Lord. That's how they made their living. Moses had assigned the following area to the clans of the tribe of Reuben. Now, you're going to have to stay with me through these. I don't know how to pronounce all these. I even listened to it. Here's a bonus tip. If you get to chapters like this that you feel like you will maybe get frustrated with not being able to pronounce the names, go to a Bible app on your phone or online and hit play and let it read it to you. Before I got here to hit record, I played it out loud thinking, oh, I'll get some understanding of how to say all these words. I don't remember. So I'm going to do my best in here, but that's a little tip. I use that often when I'm going through like Kings and Chronicles, and even chapters like this. If I know it's something that's going to frustrate me, first of all, let me examine myself in why, but also there are ways that I can still spend time with God and His Word without me feeling insecure with trying to pronounce them, okay? I can let someone else read it to me. Moses had assigned the following area to the clans of the tribe of Reuben. Now remember, this is east of the Jordan River. So this is before they crossed the Jordan. This is before Jericho, all of that. They already had theirs east of the Jordan River. Their territory extended from Aroer on the edge of the Arnon Gorge, including the town in the middle of the gorge, to the plain beyond Medeba. It included Heshbon and the other towns on the plain, Dibon, Bamoth Baal, Beth Baal Meon, Jahaz, Kedemoth, Mephath, Kiriathaim, Sibma, Zareth Shahar, on the hill above the valley, Beth Peor, the slopes of Pisgah, and Beth Jeshimoth. Look, we're trying our best here, okay? The land of Reuben also included all the towns of the plain and the entire kingdom of Sihon. Sihon was the Amorite king who had reigned in Heshbon and was killed by Moses along with the leaders of Midian, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba, princes living in the region who were allied with Sihon. Okay, there's a battle here that we missed. And if you're curious about it and you're like, wait, what? When did Moses kill this king and these guys? Go back and find it. You can look into a commentary for this chapter and it'll like hyperlink you. You may have a study Bible that has references in the sides that'll tell you what part of the book of Numbers or wherever it is where that battle happened. And you can go back and get some more insight into that. What about the name Hur? That can't be the same Hur, right? That can't be the same Hur. The Israelites had also killed Balaam, son of Beor, who used magic to tell the future. Obviously not successfully, or did he tell the future to his own death, right? The Jordan River marked the western boundary for the tribe of Reuben. The towns and their surrounding villages in this area were given as a homeland to the clans of the tribe of Reuben. We knew that, east of the Jordan River, that's the homeland to them. Again, remember, they sent their warriors to go and fight, but this is their land. So then do you wonder how the warriors, or when the warriors came back, or how they got all across the Jordan River? Moses had assigned the following area to the clans of the tribe of Gad. Remember, Moses, so this has to be east of the Jordan River because Moses didn't cross the Jordan River. Their territory included Jazer, all the towns of Gilead, and half of the land of Ammon. Why only half? Did the other half of Ammon go to the other tribe? Are we going to get to that? As far as the town of Aror, just west of Rabbah. It extended from Heshbon to Ramoth Mizpeh and Betanim, and from Mahanaim to the territory of Lodebar. In the valley were Beth Haram, Beth Nimrah, Sukkoth, Zaphon, and the rest of the kingdom of King Sihon of Heshbon. King Sihon was the real deal over there. The western boundary ran along the Jordan River. We know that, extended as far north as the tip of the Sea of Galilee, and then turned eastward. The towns and their surrounding villages in this area were given as a homeland to the clans of the tribe of Gad. All right, we have a little bit left. This is recapping what Moses had given east of the Jordan River. Moses had assigned the following area to the clans of the half-tribe of Manasseh. I wonder how old Moses was when he assigned these. You know? Because then does Joshua, are they close in age of you're getting old? Their territory, this is the half-tribe of Manasseh, their territory extended from Mahanaim, including all of Bashan, all the former kingdom of King Og, and the 60 towns of Jair in Bashan. And the 60 towns. Have you been thinking this is just like small areas? And the 60 towns. I don't care if each town had 40 people, 60 of them? That's a lot of space. And this is what's going to the half-tribe of Manasseh. So how much land is it actually that Reuben got, that Gad got? It also included half of Gilead and King Og's royal cities of Ashtaroth and Edrei. All this was given to the clans of the descendants of Machir, who was Manasseh's son. The family tree goes down. That's so cool. So this is Joseph's grandson, right? Manasseh was Joseph's son. This is Joseph's grandson. These are the allotments Moses had made while he was on the plains of Moab, across the Jordan River east of Jericho. But Moses gave no allotment of land to the tribe of Levi. For the Lord, the God of Israel, had promised that he himself would be their allotment. I wonder if, I want to hold up this map for you a little bit more and let me point out where the Jordan River is. And then you can see, you can kind of see the Jordan River down the middle here, right? So when we are, that's west, east of the Jordan River, you've got Reuben, Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh. And then once they cross the Jordan River, now we're dividing up all the other lands as well. But remember, it said north as far as, was it the Dead Sea? Sea of Galilee. Here's the Sea of Galilee, this little blurb right here. Okay, so having a map is going to be so helpful when we look at things like this because it actually allows us to be even more curious. But how about this part? Verse 33, but Moses gave no allotment of land to the tribe of Levi, for the Lord, the God of Israel, had promised that he himself would be their allotment. As I was reading through that, I was thinking, I know the Levites are the priests, right? And they're kind of set apart in a chosen kind of way. But I wonder if any of them ever felt like, I just want what everyone else gets. I don't want to be this. I want land. I want to have what the Lord gives everyone else. I don't want to rely on this. I don't want to rely on that. I don't want to be chosen for this anymore. I just want what everyone else has. And it just had me examining myself. I've been in those kind of situations. If I'm really honest with myself, there's times I don't, but God, what about what everyone else gets? How come I got to be set apart for this? How come I got to, these are real feelings. And a lot of times we will try to suppress those feelings, or especially if we have even mentors and leaders and pastors and Christian teachers will tell us, to try to recognize who we are and who God has called us to be. And yes, and these are real people too. And so I have to really be honest. Remember, we've been talking about coming clean with God, like really coming clean, like confessing all the stuff, the details. Remember, Achan was like, and the silver's beneath the gold, right? Like, so what feelings am I not coming forward with? What feelings have I not come forward with when it comes to the Lord? What have I been hiding? What have I been trying to hold quiet to? And even if you don't feel like you can say it to a person, what have I been hiding in front of the Lord? He knows my thoughts anyway. So what have I been hiding in front of the Lord? All right. I feel like you already know what's coming for this Walk It Out challenge for Joshua chapter 13. Again, you can grab this workbook at any time. But the Walk It Out challenge is this: today, light a fresh fire for yourself. You are growing old and much land remains to be conquered. That's verse 1 of this chapter. Have you ever made a bucket list? Okay, what about a refreshed mind with a for the Lord list? There is much more to do. You're not too old. Your time is not up. You are still here on purpose. Relight the fire. Reset the goals. Get out there and take action today. Truly, get out your journal. Write it all down. What still has to be conquered? What is there still to do? You're not too old. You're not too old. And don't think that God doesn't know your age. Don't think that God doesn't know any limitations that you have, that God doesn't know any insecurities that you have. I'm not telling everyone to start a YouTube channel. If the Lord has been putting that, if that's the fire that's been lighting, you better do it. But I'm not saying that that's what you have to do. I won't speak for the Lord in your life unless it's reading directly from his word. But what is it? What have you been pushing aside saying, I'm too old? I'm too old to start that. I'm too old to have a Bible study. I'm too old to pour into a younger generation. I'm too old to do this. I'm too old to... There's more land to be conquered. The harvest is plentiful and the laborers are few. Let's keep laboring. Let's keep working. Let's keep sharing. All right? Let me pray for you before we go. God, I just thank you for your word. I thank you for the encouragement. I thank you for Joseph's life. And even when he was old, I thank you for that detail. I thank you for that detail that you even acknowledged his age, that you even acknowledged that he's getting on in years, but there is still more work to be done. You still have more for them to conquer, and you still have more for us to conquer. And it's not just all on us. Just like you said to Joshua, you will fight those battles. You'll go before them. And God, I just pray for a fresh fire inside us to know that you go before us. And that whatever it is stirring up in us, God, that there will be no fear, that there will be no insecurities, but that we will be willing to take the steps. I pray over the one watching and the one listening for a boldness, for a fresh fire, for a fresh reset to take action, knowing that you go before them. They're not too old. Time is not up. You have called us to do more. There is still more land to be conquered. There are still more souls to be saved. All for your glory. Use us, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Come on, I just need to refresh, relight that fire, stir it up inside of you to take more action today. And let's move on to the next chapter too.